Alright. Here's the Cowpatch logo. And then there's a Wildcat to Nimblewill Gap. I will be giving a audio commentary if I can get my view checked. Alright. This isn't exactly rocket science, is it? Alright, there we go. Alright, we're on Route 60 in Suches. And we are en route to Nimblewill Gap. And I think I can survive with this. Alright, I was driving down the road here. We're going about 30 miles per hour. So if someone passes me, it's totally okay. I have no problem with anyone passing me. They don't invade my space. And here comes someone right now. We're getting ready to make a right turn up here. But look at this beautiful scenery. This is why I present to you these places. Because if you like to travel, but you can't always travel, virtual reality is a great way to do it. And I'm presenting you with this so you can travel without leaving. And right now I'm on my exercise bicycle, so that helps a lot too. Oh, that worked. Okay. Alright, gonna be making a right turn up here. This is Gaddistown Road. Don't know if you can read that, but yeah, this is Gaddistown Road. This is this used to be my commute to work. Every day I used to drive down this road. Now it's great because I can actually look and check things out without crashing. Now you can see the back of my jacket. It says cowfactor.com. Cowfactor.com is my website of motorcycle routes. I am looking for other riders. That's WRIDERS, riders, as in, you know, riders. And, you know, somebody who likes to post their adventures about motorcycling anywhere, cruising, sport bikes, fast bikes, off-road bikes, dual-purpose bikes, anything like that. If you want to come and write for me, you can set you up an account. You can follow the standard that I set up. And if you wanted to make money, there's also spaces where you can put in links, banner ads, and stuff like that with your stories. So if you get sponsored, the only thing I get out of you is content. And, you know, more people will be able to access better content rather than just through me. I like cutting this corner when I'm in the car, but on the motorcycle I like curves, so I don't cut it. Now, Cow Factor, you're probably wondering what Cow Factor is. Cow Factor is, this road has Cow Factor. It's got fields, it's got open fields, and it's got the possibility of cows. So even if you don't see cows, this road itself probably has a cow factor of 3 because there's a mix of farmland, curviness, trees, forests, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of farmland here, and there is cows. So you're probably at least 3, possibly 4. If this was just cows on both sides, hopefully you can see that, this side and that side. If this it's just that, then it would be cow factor 5, but it's not just cows. Oh, hopefully the controller updated progress. I mean, you're not even going to see this because I'm just taking this and I'm going to add an auto commentary. Or I might post this up too as a separate video so you can see how I'm explaining everything. But these are my hands. If the camera recording can pick this up, it's kind of cool. All right, but yeah, this area here usually has a bunch of cows. Over there, there's cows. So yeah, this would make it at least a cow factor 3, possibly a cow factor 4. But we do have curvy roads and mountains and stuff like that, so there would be some mountain factor in here. Now, this road turns into a gravel road. I am coming up with a gravel road icon. I haven't found one that I like yet, but I'll do it. It'll get in there. It's probably be a gravel road. It might be a paved to a gravel road interchange as soon as I come up with something. I do have one that I do like that I should put on this road because I've seen it before. Bear factor. Alright, I haven't been chased by a bear, but the possibility is there because when I came through here once on a motorcycle, I saw a cub. Oh look, that cows or those horses? Those are horses, okay, but still, this is a horse barn, that fits in cow factor. That was chickens, that would fit in cow factor. Any type of farming, animals, grazing, anything like that, any possibility. Well, anyways, I came across a cub up here, basically where it turns into gravel, and you know where there's a cub, there's a mother, and she's going to protect her cub. So there's that factor where you have a chance of being chased by a bear. If you don't stop and keep going, there's a low chance, but there's always that chance. So I have an icon where the bear is chasing someone on a motorcycle looking scared, and it's kind of cool. So I'm probably going to put that on this posting, and you'll probably see the posting and see this and think, well, that's kind of backwards. He's going to tell me he's going to put that in there, but I already know he's putting that in there because I see it on the posting. But suppose you come across a video, you know, and you don't see it, then you go to cowfactor.com and look for this posting and you'll see it, and that'll be cool. You know, I'm just trying to give different type of factors, graphical icons to describe a ride. It's kind of a cool way of doing it, I think. It's still under development. For some reason, when I post up the pictures, they're not showing full. So I'm looking for a different way to put the pictures up. Maybe I have to make them much smaller pictures so they go in there. But I do have you know, 5 cows standing in a row with grass in their mouth. That's cow factor 5, all the way down to a cow that has a red circle and a slash mark on top of it for 0 cow factor. Every post will have a cow factor rating either from 5 to 0. Alright, this next segment that we're going into, if it was in its own segment for the next probably 10 miles about, there's going to be a cow factor of 0, but this whole video when it's done will be probably about a cow factor 3 because I'm going to go up another road that has a cow factor of 3. So overall, this is probably a cow factor 3. Alright, we're getting to the end here. We're getting deeper up here into the woods. Now, if you hear me breathing heavy, I'm actually pedaling pretty hard on my exercise bicycle, because this is a great way to get some exercise. You can spend $15 a month on an app that brings you into Google Street View, but you don't get full motion video. You get Street View and it skips and skips and skips to the next one for $15 a month. And you know, the resolution is pretty bad, but the resolution is actually pretty good, and you're getting full motion video. And yeah, it doesn't change your speed or when you pedal. I would like to develop, if anybody wants to help me develop a video player that will play, that we can hook up Bluetooth to a pace counter on the pedal, And you know, if you pedal faster, it speeds up the video, because there's capability on these things to speed up video, especially on YouTube. You know, and then we can make that happen. But I don't really think it's needed, because you know, you're gonna pedal anyways, and the hills are gonna show up on your pedal bicycle that you put in there, and it's not gonna correspond too well here. If we had all the acceleration data and all that and put it into there, it would probably be too much. All right, just adjusting. We're on the gravel road now. Yeah, the video does get a little bit worse in the dark areas. The compression has to work a little bit harder, but this is a decent representation of what it is. You can see the potholes, like you can see that water right there. You can see the ruts. Yeah, there's some muddying artifacts in the video, but you know, it's still pretty good. You can get a good gist of it. You can see where they put the rocks down and repair those muddy ruts. This gets a lot of water drainage caused by where some points where the water crosses the road and then vehicles come across and create ruts in it, and then it creates erosion that way. But the forestry service in there does a really good job taking care of these roads. I really think, you know, we could all buy them a coffee. We could all buy them a coffee. But there's no signs like, hey, tag this link, buy us a coffee. I wish there was. Post it up, buy us a coffee. I would love to do that, you know, QR code it, shoot it, send them a $5 donation towards their next coffee, tea, bottle of alcohol, whatever they want to do. And this is not geared to children, so if you're a child, you don't understand the concept of alcohol and stuff like that, don't be going to see mom and say, Mom, this guy on YouTube is talking about alcohol. He says I should buy it for the forestry service. Don't be doing that. You're a kid, get off here. This is not made for children. I'm gonna try not to swear and stuff like that, but this is not made for children. This is 18 plus, boys and girls, men and women, and anybody else who may be watching. However you identify, if you're happy, that's okay with me. Now, if you might think, I'm a veteran, and as we're talking, we're going to be going past a Camp Merrill on this route where they train the Army Rangers, the mountain portion. All right, and as a veteran, I think the best way that you can thank a veteran is to live your life happy and be the best happy that you can be, being what you want to be, and to heck with everybody else. Don't let anybody else try to control who you are. If you're religious, don't let anybody else tell you religion is bad. If you're trans, don't let anybody else tell you that trans is bad. You be who you be and live a good American life. And don't squash anybody else in the process. And that's my rant for now. Alright, we're coming up. This is Cooper's Gap. And this is actually the Appalachian Trail. If you look to the right, you can see it as it comes down and it goes over there to the left. That's the Appalachian Trail. We're at the end of the point that we're done. We're going to go to where the Appalachian Trail lead-in is, where you go and walk from a park, a state park, where the Appalachian Trail begins. So that's kind of cool. So this is the roughest I've ever seen this road. I've seen this road after they've repaired it and smoothed it out, but it's pretty bumpy. And before I started this trip, because I had the bags on it, the saddle bags, you look down, if you're on 360, if I'm just recording short, you can see it. I was recommended to increase my pressures, but I did. And further on this route, there's a spot where my brakes became inoperable because I was on stone, pea stone, that acted like marbles. And I had to put my foot down because I couldn't stop. I was falling over. I couldn't maintain balance. And I'll try to point that out to you when we get to it, if it got picked up, because I did have some camera issues and I don't know exactly where the video ended, but hopefully I can show you that spot. It's kind of embarrassing, I think. I get kind of embarrassed. I had to put my foot down. So this whole trip, I've had to put my foot down like I think 2 or 3 times, which I don't think is bad. But I have a screwed up left foot, and I try not to put down my feet because the Veterans Administration wanted to cut off my left foot 5 years ago, and I wouldn't let them. It's got some damage. I do have a limp when I walk, but I don't limp when I ride my motorcycle. Sometimes after a long day, I do have shifting issues. But, you know, I could probably go and buy a motorcycle that has electric shifter or dual clutch transmission and do it that way. But I like my Scram. This thing's a great bike. Came with some issues. All bikes come with issues, I think. If it doesn't have issues, where's the fun? But besides that, this bike goes everywhere. And I'm comfortable with its stability and all that, except, you know, like I said, I raised the tire pressure. I had some issues later on the ride. I lowered the tire pressure 2 pounds per tire, and it stabilized a lot more. So I'm gonna keep it at that. Because if I think about it, I don't have, like if I had a passenger, and you know, I like dating short fat girls, so sorry to all the short fat girls out there, but I do like dating them. Or I like dating taller, heavier women, you know, so it's gonna be some weight, and if I had someone in the back, that'd be more weight than what I got on saddlebags. Some of you are probably smiling right now, some of you probably just clicked off the thing, but oh well. I'm gonna tell it how I see it. I'm trying not to insult anybody, because being insulted just sucks. I know what it's like. You know, I was always picked last in gym class. So when we played Bombardment and I would get picked last, I made sure I made that other team suffer, because they didn't pick me, and I would make them suffer. Now you can see this on Street View. I got this on Street View 2 years ago. There's a big rut, and they had to repair all of this. I'm not doing Street View this time, but I'm gonna update this area for Street View, and this is gonna show this circle, that corner better, and then you'll be able to see the before and after. Now we have a motorcycle on the bike. We're gonna give him the 2 fingers down, and he's gonna ignore us because he doesn't think that he's, you know, on the same. But you know, it's all wishing that he keeps both wheels on the ground and have a happy ride. That's what that 2 fingers is for. We're blessing each other when we do that. It's not about what you're riding, it's about being safe and having a good ride and watching out for, you know, bad drivers. This was my best commute I ever had for any type of job. Coming up over this twice a day was awesome, and I miss it. I worked for the Army, and the Army had some reductions, and I got reduced. Not mad at anybody, and I'm looking for another job. Hopefully I can try to make some money with my content. I'm on calfactor.com. Go to calfactor.com. You can click and go to my YouTube channel. Subscribe and like if you can. Share with your friends. That would be great. Help me grow my channel. I am a disabled veteran, 100% permanent total. I can work because I choose to work. Because I always have to be doing something. But being 100% disabled does not pay all the bills. So if you could help me out, share me with your friends, that'd be great. If not, just enjoy my content. And it's funny, the way that the compression works with some of the light. There's a thing in the front there, directly in front of us. I actually thought that was someone on a horse. I'm thinking, I don't remember anybody being on a horse. You know what the worst thing is? I'm recording this. I have a cable plugged into the back of my headset, and I'm recording this file in lowest resolution. Hopefully I can use it, just a voice track, to lay over this actual file and put it up onto YouTube. And I gotta do it for an hour and 15 minutes and sweat because I can't have the fan on because it's gonna drown out my audio. I turned the air conditioner down some, but that's, you know, that's negligible because your heat comes from internal, and when you don't have a fan blowing on you, yeah, it doesn't work that well. But if this comes out, I'll have a good audio track for that video, and then all you will have to listen to me. I was suggested to do audio tracks because I can put music on, but then I have to put down the same music over and over and over again unless I spend a lot of money on stuff. But I intend on posting this video with and without audio track on it, me talking, so you can listen to it naturally and be in peace. And another thing that you can do if you're doing it, just wear a headset, wear, you know, Bluetooth your earbuds or whatever they call them, the things there, and listen to music, your own music, while you're doing this exercise, and just enjoy the scenery around you. There's the sun directly overhead. I chose this time of the day because the shadows are shorter. Yeah, we got plenty of shadows here, but if I did this in the afternoon, we would get more shadows. They'd be longer. But sometimes maybe I'm thinking that it'd be totally darker in here, the camera would adjust and make things actually better. So, you know, it's 6 of one, half dozen of another, but I do have to be able to produce this video, and if I run into problems, be able to make it home in time. Don't want to be stuck in the woods. I'll be stuck in the woods. I have a GPS on me that has a SOS connection where I can get, as a Garmin InReach Mini, and if I should happen to fall off the side of this road and go down that hill and no one can find me, if I'm still alive, that's connected to my body. I can use that to call SOS anywhere in the world, as long as I have a good GPS signal to the sky. It might take a few tries in these woods, maybe. I have never tried it, don't want to try it. You know, you have helicopters show up at your house. Hey, we thought you had an emergency. Oh, I was just testing my device. It's like, oh, well, we're going to have to bill you for the helicopter time. That's $2,000, $5,000 something dollars, whatever. Oh, no, I was just testing my device. Don't want to do that. I also have a radio on me in the back of the bike. Yeah, I'm giving away all my secrets. I have a backup phone. I have a phone that's on a different network that has no service, but all phones now that you buy can dial 911. So whatever service is out there you're getting, you can dial 911. So always carry a backup phone that's fully charged on your motorcycle. And then I have a flight radio from when I used to shoot drone video. And the flight radio, if I had to, I can call aircraft and give them my location if they're searching. And I also carry a green laser because at night, if there's any aircraft or anything, you can shine it through the leaves, and that's on my person. And somebody can locate you that way. Especially here in the mountains, especially in North Georgia. It's gonna get muggy at night, and it leads a pretty good trail. And even during the day, if you see someone that's on a trail and you gotta get their attention, and they're looking for you, you shine a laser in their eyes. They're gonna know that you're shooting it at them. All right, here we are at the end of this hill. That scoop is Gap Road, I'm pretty sure. This is Camp Merrill. You can see the Ranger emblem on the water tower. This is the Camp Merrill gate. We're gonna wave hi to the guy. Hey, how you doing? Hi. He doesn't wave back. You know, mostly decent people. We're gonna stop here. We're gonna do a change. There's our change, and now we're driving out. Okay, this is a video where eventually the camera quit. So I had to stop at the end of this video. Hey, mountain bikers! These people were friendly. They waved, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, I had to stop, pull out the SD card. I had to pull an alcohol wipe out of my first aid kit, so I wasted one of those, so I gotta get more alcohol wipes and put it back inside the first aid kit. Reminded me to do that. Do in the comments down below. that'd be great to remind me to get alcohol wipes, and I'll do that. But I had to clean it before I did the next section, because the next section is kind of rough, and I was able to get all of that section. But as I was going down here, there's a corner, and this is where I ran into the pebbles, marbles. I've run into them before out here, and you know, it's like you're driving on marbles and you lose all stability. And I had to put my foot down because I was putting on the brake, and I was in first gear, and I tried to use everything to slow me down, but I was on these pebbles and I just lost stability, and it was actually kind of scary. So that's why I deflated the tires too. I wanted to get a little bit more of the tire on the ground, you know, to keep my stability up, because I was going to go to rougher area, but that rougher area didn't have any of these. You can see it. You can see the beginning of these small pebbles on the road here. And I don't know where they get them. They probably get them from a facility that, you know, puts them in through all kind of stuff, and they roll around when they get out here, and then they get on here and they just turn into like marbles. So here I am, slowly going down this hill, already feeling the instability in my wheel. Try not to freak out. This is why I don't record, because it might tell me right now, I'm probably saying this and that and all kind of bad words that I don't want to put on here, because I don't want to get, you know, nailed by YouTube. Oh, that's all bad words, you can't have that on here. So I'm, you know, trying to be a good boy. Yep, and on those brakes, just, you know, this isn't very steep either, and I'm finding an inability to slow down. And yeah, that my left arm has issues, so when I get a smooth spot, I will rest that left arm. But this is where it really started getting gnarly. I will actually look down at my left leg, because at that point, you're going to be able to see me put down my foot, because I kind of like get freaky because I'm not able to slow down here. Yeah, see, it's like, wow, what the fuck? I almost fell over because, oh, I said the F word, I'm sorry. That's strike one. Sorry, YouTube, strike one. Yeah, just seeing that, it just made me feel like, oh, this is a scary moment. So this is a 4-H camp, Wasaga 4-H Center. I guess it's run by the University of North Georgia. I'm not entirely sure. There's some good people up there. I've been there a few times. When I was doing mail, I would get some of their mail sometimes. I'd bring it down from Merrill, brought it down there. I actually got in trouble because Merrill didn't give me a mail truck, and I used my own personal vehicle to make sure people got their mail, and I actually got in trouble for that. Can you believe that? So I was kind of laid off from my job, but there were some other factors in that. Pretty much got reprimanded for following an SOP signed by a lieutenant colonel, and I followed their orders, and I did my job with pride, and I did it to my best ability. And like I said, I didn't get a mail truck that I was supposed to be given, and I used my own personal vehicle. So I used to go down to Camp Wasaga 4-H camp a lot to bring them mail, because it would get erroneously, it would go to my place by accident. This is a nice road. As you can see, I'm kind of taking it really careful on this road now, because I'm running into that unstable stone, and it is kind of scary when that happens to you. You don't expect it. I did a ride last weekend in North Carolina, and my tires were set differently. It had the same kind of equipment. I ran into no stability issues on the trail at all, and I went up, and I went over 5,000 feet higher than I was when I started, and that was a great ride. And like I said, no stability issues. There's a campsite. You can camp down here. I'm pretty sure it's a no-fee camping area, and you can pick a spot that's already marked out and go camping, unless there's a sign that says no camping. You're all set. I've seen people live down here for months. I don't know the rules off of that, Nobody enforces the rules. Well, you know, I guess you could stay down here as long as you want. Again, while we're not got anything going on, I invite you to go look at calfactor.com. Calfactor, my rides. Webspose.com. Webspose is a site. It's a virtual business card site. I can issue you a card that has a QR code on it. Oh, bridge. Look at the water. Yay, water. I can issue a QR code and a card that has the RFID inside it, so you can tap it with your phone or tap it with someone else's phone, and it brings you to your one-page website where we have your basic contact information and social media links and any pictures that you want to show anybody. It's $100 a year if you want to do it. I set up the page once. If you want to update it, it's $25 each time, so be sure, because it's really not supposed to be that intricate of a website. It's really only supposed to link you to other stuff that you have. So that's webspose.com. There's a little thing there. If you want to contact me, oh, an animal just ran across the road. I didn't see that before. If you want to contact me on there, you can donate $1 to me, and I will take that dollar off your price. But you can contact me on there, and guess what? Nobody spams me. You can leave a message, you donate $1, and nobody sends me any spam. It works pretty good. And I take that dollar and I will put it towards any services they give you. And if you want the dollar back, I'll send you the dollar back. If you just want to get a message to me, you want to talk, I will send you that dollar back. I have no problem doing that. I might lose 3 cents at it, but I gain a contact, and that's a lot more than 3 cents, I think. So we're on the second segment of this in the woods. I've done all of this on Google Street View. If you go out to this area in Google Street View, look around the Camp Merrill area, and look at all the blue lines. I did all of this in my Subaru about 3 years ago now. And it hasn't been replaced, it hasn't been updated. I'm pretty sure I might try to update it this fall. I want to get some heated equipment, because it can get cold up here in the mountains, if you believe it or not, down here in northern Georgia. And it is so much better to map when there's no leaves in the trees, because it shows a lot more. I actually did an area north of Route 60, Milky Gap, where they used my Google Street View. I shot a motorcycle up there while searching for a woman that had lost. And because it was the summertime when they searched her, they couldn't see any of the ravines or anything that she might have fallen down. So they used my Street View to look where there was no leaves, and then they could see places where someone could have fallen, and they used that to find her. I was told this casually by someone on a website, on a Facebook group, and they told me to keep doing this because it helps, but I have not been able to get an official confirmation. But if I look at all my views in that area, my views when that woman disappeared went way up, so a lot of people are using that as reference. Somewhere along here I come across a guy walking, and I like to stop and talk to people. It's, you know, see where they're coming from, how they're doing, and they're enjoying the walk and stuff. So I talked to a guy a couple of minutes. I had an extra soda on me, so I don't make sure, because this was a warm day, that he had enough liquid, so I offered him a soda. His name was William. Hopefully, William, you don't get mad that I was recording, but he seemed like a great guy, and he looked like he was enjoying his walk. So we'll come across him soon. But yeah, this is a great natural resource out here for people. You come out here, you really don't need a four-wheel drive vehicle if you stay on the main forest trails. I wouldn't recommend a low car, you know, a low riding car, because there are enough ruts down here. You might lose your muffler, especially if you're from like Atlanta. You don't want to come up here and lose your muffler, go back there, and then get nailed for emissions and stuff. Up here, you don't have to get inspected for that, so, you know, you lose your muffler, oh well. Car sounds cool for a little bit. somebody might pull you over at a noise ordinance and stuff like that. But hey, I don't know. I'm not a cop. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to report you. My bicycle just yelled at me. I don't know why. Ah, here's William. I think I probably met a goal. He's looking at me. I'm coming in. You know, just want to say hello. Listen to our little conversation if you can.
How you doing? Good, Bob. What about you? Oh, having a good work? Yeah, trying to, man. Where are you coming from? Right down the road. Where are you headed to?
I'm going to go down to the church and then head up to the memorial on the top of the hill. You know.
Cool.
Yeah. Just want to say hello to a friendly face in the woods.
Oh, okay. Hey.
How you doing?
What's your name, bud?
I'm Gareth.
Gareth? My name's William, man. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My son's middle name is William.
Okay, cool.
His first name is Gyro.
That makes sense.
You good? You got good enough liquid?
Oh, yes, sir. I just got a little bit further to go, and then...
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I got an extra soda there if you need it.
I'm good. I greatly appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You have a blessed day. Thank you.
And I stalled my bike.
I like that bike, man.
Thanks.
All right, William, have a good day. Thanks for talking. You know, you always want to check on your walkers. You don't know if they're having issues and stuff. If he was having an issue, I could have helped him out. I did have a soda in the back. I did have another container of water inside one of my bags. So, you know, they're there. It works. You know, they were having a medical emergency and the heat was getting to them. You have a conversation with people and you can tell if they're coherent, he was coherent, so you can tell. But if they, you know, were incoherent and they were having problems making their words and stuff like that, I definitely would have given them more attention. But he seemed good, so. Cough, cough. No, I don't have COVID. It's because I turned the air conditioner on low in here and I really think it's drying out the air and it's causing problems. Oh well. At least I'm not sweating my ass off and having, that's not a bad word, is it, YouTube? Well, anyways, at least I'm not doing that and having sweat come down in my face on the, you know, the Quest goggles. But yeah, like I said, great drive here. Now at some point along this stretch is when my video first cuts out, so we will transition over to the next video. You're not going to see me working on my bike and working, you know, reducing the tire pressure and anything like that, which is fade into the next video, and I will tell you when we get up to that point. So if you have any questions, make sure you comment, you like, you know, follow me, comment down below. Tell me I'm an idiot if you want to tell me I'm an idiot. That's your opinion. And you know, like all kind of opinions, I will try to answer you back in the nicest manner I can after you call me an idiot. You know, just say hello. And if you are from the North Georgia area and you want to leave a comment on how we could possibly meet up, or if you want to become a writer, which is W-R-I-D-R, not W-R-I-T-R, a writer. You know, I can set you up with an account and you can do the same thing here. Follow my format. You could make money. You might not make money, but at least you're sharing rides, and all the rides have a main photo that I take from the ride, and it has a YouTube video, and it has a GPX file. I had a GPX hosting system that stopped working, so I had to redo all my GPX, and now I host my GPX files myself, which is actually better because I can link to that and put multiple GPX files on the page, which and where you can download the GPX file to upload into your GPS system and follow some of these routes, and however they get you to the routes. I am actually recording a secondary GPS track today because a portion of this I am going to try to put on Street View, because I have heard of people going up this road in their cars and getting stuck, and you really shouldn't have a thing. And I don't intend on doing Street View of all the trails and all the places to go, but if it's marked as a forest road, I intend on doing it so people can understand what they're getting themselves into, so they can know that, hey, I looked at this, maybe I shouldn't bring my car, maybe I should go talk to my cousin John and borrow his Ford, and you know, or his Jeep or whatever. I don't want anybody getting mad. Oh, he said Ford, he's fixed or repaired dilly, found off-road dead, or Jeep, just emptying all your pockets or something like that. I don't know the acronym for Jeep, but it's something about, you know, losing all your money to it. You know, whatever you say, people are going to say something wrong. It's like my Royal Enfield. People said, oh, now you're on a bike that's a school bus can pass you. Hey, I see it this way. If a school bus can pass me, most likely I'm never going to get a speeding ticket. I didn't buy a bike for speed. I got it to go around and to go exploring. The people on the sports bikes, if they want to go fast, I suggest that they don't do it on the roadways. You can, you know, you can go to a track day and get on the racetrack and really go fast and have support services, so you do crash, there's going to be people that pick you up and stick you in a helicopter and fly you to a hospital. But the chance of you crashing is slow because you know yourself, and you don't have to worry about road conditions that are going to work against you, and you don't have to worry about other drivers. You got the track all to yourself. So track days. This is my track day. Yeah, I'm not running into too much other traffic out here. Yeah, but this is a good route. This whole area. I intend on putting a lot more tracks for this area around. I'm not going to map it until November again, when everything is clear, because you can't use this for a search and rescue if you can't see beyond the road. So there's no use doing it yet, but updating it every 2 to 3 years is a smart thing to do, because things do change. Not as much, but there is an area around here where a tornado hit, and it did change the woods, and I want to go shoot that area just so people can see, you know, what the possibly update is. See, again, I'm nervous on these rocks. I'm getting a little bit of squirrely in the tire because I'm getting these marbles, so I'm taking it easy on these corners. Repaired the road. Like I said, it gets squirrely. It's stones. I don't know where they get these stones. I think they get a marble out. Yeah, see? I put my foot down because I started losing stability. I really need to let the air out of those tires a little bit, I think. And I do. You won't see that. After this segment, before the next segment going up that mountain, it's 2 pounds less on each tire, and it made a world of difference. So if you're having stability problems on these back roads, check your tire pressure. Just 2 pounds. 2 pounds can make a lot of difference. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. I really wish I could turn on that fan. I kind of wish this was underneath the vent. The vent is on the other side of the room now, in that corner over there, which you can't see. But look where I'm looking now. If you look forward in my space, about 10 feet into the left, that corner up on the left, there's a vent that comes right down there, and that's where all the nice cool air comes from. Yeah, I would have got through here a little bit faster if I didn't have the problem with the wheel stability on these stones, I think. And maybe that would have helped my camera not have a problem, because I really think part of it is the camera is not staying cool enough, which causes a slight increase in not contraction, but the other thing, when it expands, expansion, I mean, that's the word. Okay, and it causes the SD card, the micro SD card, to lose contact with the inputs, and then it reads it as no SD card. Or it could be all the shaking around, but I did order some high endurance cards that are supposed to be able to handle the heat better. So I'm hoping those fix the problem. It's either that, or I'm just gonna have to do more transitions and do more editing, because I have to stop and start it, and I have to stop the bike to stop and start it. And as you see, I keep adjusting my visor. I adjust my visor because when I'm going this slow, I like to feel the cool air on my face, but I don't like getting bugs. You know, I go into places that have a lot of bugs, and they get into my face and get in my eyes, and then I get bug in my eyes, and I'm trying to blink my eyes really fast to get the bug out of it. I can't exactly stop and pull the eyelid up and try to get the bug out, because I'm riding a motorcycle at this point. So then I gotta bring it down and think, oh, I gotta find that trade-off between no bugs in the eye and nice cool breeze coming in. I do have vents on the helmet itself, but those don't work at low speeds. You know, they work, but they don't give you an effect. And if you can see that light in the back, that's my brake-free light. That's my sponsor. They sent me the light. And look it up on the internet. I don't know if I'm allowed to put sponsor links in my things, but I will try it. Brake Free, B-R-A-K-E, free, F-R-E-E. Look it up on, you know, I have no code or anything like that. But they sent me the light because on Street View, I have over 600 miles done with over 3 million views. I wish I could do the same amount of views on YouTube, but on this new YouTube channel, Cow Factor, I only have 1 subscriber so far. So if you would like my video and subscribe, that would be very appreciated. But don't do it right now. Enjoy the content first. But I'm pretty sure I lose my track right about here. I might be wrong. I was editing, and when I edited, I didn't really yep, there it goes. That's where I lost it. Wasn't much. I probably lost about 1,000 feet. So here we are. We're on Nimblewill Road. I put this on Street View last year before all the trees came in, and I didn't put it on today because, you know, it's got all the leaves and all that stuff. But this next bit I'm putting on Street View, and I will probably reshoot it again in November. But I'm putting it on Street View now so people can use it. Yeah, there is something wrong. Oh my God, yep. Wow, yeah, there is something wrong with the heat. Yeah, I'm getting all kind of dizzy and stuff. The accelerometer is having a problem. You can see all the stability issues. Yep. All right. Somebody stop the world from spinning, please. Yeah, so that's when it died that time. All right, so camera micro SD card has been cleaned and started anew. Yeah, there's a slight change in my direction. kind of wish this worked like when I'm on YouTube. I could squeeze and just turn my whole body, because if I use the joystick, it goes too far. And centering it doesn't work, because when I center it, it takes me all the way to the right. So I'm gonna just suffer a little bit this last bit, and I will look to the left slightly. I'll make it go to the right, and then I'll look to the right for a little bit, you know, back and forth like that towards the end of this route. But yeah, this route has a lot of traffic in it. There are some campsites down here. I guess people like camping next to the river. Well, there's a creek, and you know, it's refreshing. You can let your kids play in the creek, and you can go fishing, whatever. But there is a lot of traffic down here, and a bunch of that traffic thinks that they can go with a mountain biker. Bunch of that traffic thinks that they actually can climb up here, and they often get stuck. So like I said, I want to give people that viewpoint where maybe they should not bring their car up that hill. Most four-wheel drive vehicles, I feel, have no problem with it, but a car or a two-wheel drive vehicle may have issues. We do have some pixelation here. I gotta wonder if that's from the overheating of the camera and stuff. But you can still see a lot of good detail. Now I am watching this. This is actually a hard file inside my Arclist, my MetaQuest 3. You may have different experiences as you stream this from YouTube, or if you download it, it might be better if you get an ultra fast connection. But you know, you can still see the detail. You can still see, you know, I mean, this is tame compared to what we're gonna run into in a little bit. This is pretty tame. And me, I'm not a technical rider. I don't ride technical stuff. Like I said, I have a bad foot. If I put it down wrong, they might have to cut it off. I'm not taking that chance. But I'm not going to be stopped from doing things either. Okay, this whole route from where we started it to the top, I think, is about 5 miles, and since I'm only doing about 10 miles per hour, this is a 30-minute trip. That's how that works, right? 10 miles per hour. About, yeah, something like that. I'm not going to do the math. You do the math for me. Come on, put it in the comments. Do the math for me. Tell me how long this bit's going to be. I can't do it and talk at the same time. I'm not a woman. I can't multitask. So, you know, you get stuck behind people. Most people around here will notice that you're on a motorcycle and they're going slow, and they will pull over eventually. This guy eventually does, which I'm very thankful for. See, there they go. They let me go. You know, I wave. Thank you. Thank you. And you know, this guy wants to stand there with his door open. Hey, let's block the road with my door. Yeah, let's do that. But this is really nice country out here. This is a memorial or something at the top, but I forgot the name of that. Memorial. I didn't go look for it because I was actually getting later in the day and I wanted to get back home if I had any issues. So I'll come up here another time, look for the memorial, take pictures of it, I guess. But yeah, you can see some writing there. Yeah, and this is still pretty tame, I think. You know, you see, you know, better vehicles up here. And if you can tell, I have a Massachusetts accent. Yeah, I live in North Georgia. Moved down from Massachusetts 3 years ago. I moved into the mountains because I did want to feel a little bit of winter this year. And this year we actually felt a little bit more winter than I wanted to, but that was cool. I forgot why I stopped here. I think I wanted to check to make sure that the GPS was recording correctly before I went up here. I needed an alternate GPS because I was mapping, and sometimes the GPS on the camera doesn't work so well, and if I have an alternate GPS recording, that GPS records better, and the time code is generated from the GPS, so the time code will match on the alternate GPS recording because it's getting the same time from the GPS. So I was just making sure I was good. And here we get this truck. I try to stay off his back end as much as I can, you know, because even though I can pass them, what's the use, you know? They're trying to concentrate on driving up this road. They might have family in the car. There's no reason to put them in a situation where, you know, they're nervous or they're going to drive off a ravine. And if they drive off the ravine, and I'm going to have to call somebody, and I have to deal with all that crap. So yeah, stay off their back end. He eventually turns off, which is good, because I did not want to be stuck behind him over the other stuff that I'm going up to up here. And this is where he turns off. I have no idea what's down there, if that's a campsite or what. I'll have to go check that out sometime, that way and that way. Go see where they go. But like I said, I'm only going to do the main forest roads. I don't want to give anybody's secret trails away. I don't want to cause any problems for any adventure, but people, oh, you're showing everybody, everybody's going to come up here. No, I'm just going to show the areas where people go and get stuck. It's just so they can make an informed decision and not get stuck. And I'm blabbing on. You're probably thinking, oh my God, this guy talks way too much. Yeah, well, when I ride, I don't talk because I'm concentrating at the task on hand, dodging rocks and potholes and ravines and trying to go around. I mean, look, do I really want to drive off there? No. Stop talking. See, the brake free works really good when I slow down. It comes on full tilt. The reason it's blinking is because the refresh rate from my camera does not meet the refresh rate of the brake free. I mean, if somebody wanted to explain that to all the viewers why that does that, I think, you know, light emitting diodes emit at a certain frequency, and they're not a constant. So they emit at a frequency that looks like the constant to the naked eye, but also to help save power, and so as, you know, and the LED burnout. If I'm wrong, please comment down below and tell me I'm wrong and link me to the right answer. That would be cool, because I'm not what I consider dumb, but I don't know everything, and you know, I speculate answers, and if I'm wrong, I would like to learn that I am wrong. Alright, I'm going to make a switch to the other direction so I can tilt my head another way, because my neck was getting sore. Yep, there's a rut right there. if you're in a car and you get stuck in there and you start scraping the bottom, you could get stuck, rip off your muffler and do some damage. If you can tell, a lot of adventure riders stand up when they do stuff, but like I said, I got a screwed up left foot and a slightly screwed up right foot. I'd rather not put the pressure on the feet, so I do sit a lot. Like I said, I try not to get too technical. This is pretty technical for me, you know, but I did do it. I did it alone. I told people where I was gonna be, so if I went missing, they know where to look. And that's another thing at cowfactor.com. I'm trying to develop a way for people to report, I'm going on this ride today, and if I'm not back in 2 days, you start looking for me. So I'm working on developing that. If anybody knows how to do that in WordPress and wants to help, can't pay ya, there's another ride, you know. Well, maybe we can collaborate. I can give you credit and get you some advertising, and we can put it on there and make, you know, a destination for riders to report their routes if they're going to be a single rider. So if they don't make it back and they don't close out their route, we can get a warning and we know where to look about, because they shared their route. I know a way that we can do it, but it's publicly viewable, and you don't want to set something up publicly viewable, because then you know, oh wow, he's got a bike I can steal. Yeah, I should be out there waiting for him. You don't want to do that. Or her. She's pretty cute. So I can sexually assault her. We don't want to do any of that to anybody, so we need a way to keep it private. You know, because there are some bad people out there, and as a community we have to all stick together and keep all our other riders safe, because you know what happens when other riders aren't safe. They start putting laws on all of us. Oh, those motorcyclists are all getting hurt, they're getting killed, we have to make laws, we got to make them all wear the airbag systems. Oh, you know, we got to protect them. No, we don't need protection. The only thing we want you to do is protect our freedom. Yeah, this doesn't look so bad on the headset here because of all the big rocks there. I like to call those sharks, shark rocks. You know, they're like sharks sticking out of the water ready to eat you and your tires. Shark rocks. I'm trying to come up with that graphic myself, trying to design it so I can put that as one of the factors in the cow factors of riding. Shark rocks, not sharp rocks, shark rocks. And there's a lot of them on here. This road does not see any maintenance, nor do we want it to see any maintenance, you know. But if we get car drivers up here, riding up here, not being up here, not, you know, not taking care of themselves and getting stuck up here, and there's a certain amount of crowd and a certain amount of incidents do it, they might start managing this area, and they may just pave it. We don't want it paved. We want it to remain dirt. We want this, but people don't use their brains. I don't want to say dumb, but don't use their brains. Oh yeah, we can go up there, and then they get stuck, and then they have to call, and you know, they become a problem. You get too many problems, and then the government tries to fix those problems, and we don't want that to happen here. Trees down and stuff like that. It's good that we get people to come up there. We got private people, but we got forestry people who come up here, and you know, it's their hobby to cut down the trees, and they probably take some of the wood for firewood. But you know, whatever they do with it, they keep it pretty clear, and that's cool. But can you imagine coming up here in a car? Look at that drop. And you come to a fallen tree and you have to go back. There's no place to turn around here. People need to know that that can happen to them if they're in a car and they don't have the right equipment to deal with it. In a motorcycle, I come up a big tree. If I was a high technical rider, I could jump the tree. But being me, I have room to turn around and say, oh, well, that's as far as I'm going today. But in a car, you're kind of stuck. You don't have any room. You go down that ravine there, and that's it. End of view. And then your car's going to catch fire and cause like forest fire. And then with all the bears and the deer and the bunnies and stuff like that, they're not going to have a place to live. It's getting warm. It was a warm day this day. I borrowed my son's jacket. He doesn't ride as much as I do. But I have a leather jacket. I was in an accident a few years ago and I lost some skin on Blood Mountain and broke 2 ribs. So I bought a leather jacket because the actual jacket that I was using wasn't good. But I borrowed my son's jacket because I'm in the woods most of this trip. And it kept me cooler. But I don't know. Look at these ruts. Imagine getting stuck in those ruts, huh? You're up here in your car getting stuck in ruts. But it's a little bit cooler. And I don't know. There's people that ride around in t-shirts, and I'm thinking, wow, you're just begging to lose your life. I think. I mean, it looks cool, and you look like you are cool, and then, you know. But I say you put on the material, and you know it's part of riding. You want to wear that protective gear. Shark rocks. Eat your tires. They come out of the water. Yep, look at this rut. Do you really want to drive through there with your car? Probably not. Go a little high here, I think. I try to cut the corners because I still have no, you know, who's up here. But you got to be careful. You got to be open to, you know, you don't want to get bounced down into that ravine. So once you're clear, once you can see around mud, water, and stuff like that, you know, you want to use the best line, the best way to get through that environment safer and flatter. Yeah, because you don't want to go down there. Can you imagine if there was no leaves on the trees, the view that we would have right now? Can you imagine that? Look at that. That's why I gotta reshoot this again in November. Or at least next March when it starts to get warm again. Or, you know, find someone to come up with me, because in November it's gonna be full of leaves and slippery as all hell. And maybe wet. We'll have a wet season. You know, that we could get a hurricane or two through here that's gonna cause ravines and, you know, channels and stuff and make it worse. Be great if the Forest Service sponsored me and then I could hire an assistant. The Forest Service would get up here and record all this, and then they can see what they have to do in places up here. You know, like I said, not pave it, but maintain a little bit. Because this is still, you know, a safety issue because some people up here when they shouldn't be. So again, if we're getting nearer to the end of the video, after the video is done, if you could just like and subscribe and share this with your friends, because I do have a lot of content that I'm going to try to put up. I want to help people. I want to show them some good rides, and you know, I want everyone to have a good, you know, good experience. I couldn't get any help to do this. I asked people about it. No one would tell me. But now I took the chance. Now everybody else can look to see what I experienced and can see, hey, look, this isn't too technical of a ride. You can do this. If you have any, you know, basic skills in motorcycling, especially dirt biking, you don't need to tear up here. I was first gear the whole way up. Just use that torque to keep you going. You get up and get through it. And then you can watch it later. And you shoot video and ride your indoor bicycle and get some exercise. I have a trike. Last year I broke it in half riding roads like this. And it was made for this, and the company would not honor their warranty. Because they said, well, it's not made for that. But it is. It's got fat tires on it and shocks. It's like, so I'm trying to find another bike. So if I could get enough followers, if anybody want to make any donations, any secretly rich people out there who want to donate to my car so I can get another pedal bike, I want to actually pedal up this sometime. Because it was this type of road that I was on. It was actually Cooper's Gap Road. I was riding down that when I cracked the frame, I guess, and then it folded a little bit later. So, oh well. I do have some videos out there, some VR videos of me riding that bike, and they're pretty cool. Lucky for you people, after I'm done exercise and I take my shower, I will not be taking the camera into the shower with me because I do not want to scare you guys away. Yeah, you all feel relief right now. And I don't want to have to open an OnlyFans page and do any of that stuff. So if you would like and share and follow and help me get my following, I never have to go out to OnlyFans. I'm not against anything like that. Whatever makes you happy. But I don't think I'll make too much money at that. Yeah, it's getting bumpier. Higher you go, the bumpier it gets. And we're getting closer to the top, I think. Okay, here we are. We're at the top. I want to thank everyone for following me and coming on and watch my video. Have a good ride. And remember, cowfactor.com and Webspose. Yep, this is the Appalachian Trail. I'm pretty sure one of these is the Appalachian Trail.